Yeah, I quit the Merchant Marines in '68, and I had to go get another vocation, so I took off from San Francisco and went back to where Dad and Mom had retired in Pass Christian, Mississippi, and I went to stay with them while I go back to school and get retrained, I guess. Here I am, 27 years old, and got to learn a new vocation, so I went down there and signed up for the manpower and training thing they had going at that time. It was sponsored by the federal government, and it was ran by a Gulf Coast Junior College down there. So they gave me a choice of three things at the unemployment office. Either I could be a auto body guy, a diesel mechanic, or a draftsman. And I decided, oh, hell, I'll just be a draftsman. I got tired of working with my hands. I was pretty beat up, tired of the elements. So off to school I went. And it was fortunate for me, I was getting California unemployment, which was a lot of money back then, especially in Mississippi, when I was nearly making 100 a week down there just going to school. And I had a lot of fun down there. I partied a lot too, but also took my drafting pretty serious. I had a lot of math in school. I don't know why it ended up. When I went to high school, I took all the hard math I could, all the way to trig, geometry, and had a lot of algebra. I had 3 years of algebra behind me, so my math was pretty high for someone that didn't graduate from high school and took a GED to get your damn high school equivalents. So anyhow, drafting became easy for me somehow. I guess I had the knack for it, so did quite well with it. And finally, when I finished up, I took off in June of '69, finished a year of school down there, and I went back to California, going back to San Francisco. And that was an adventure in itself. I could tell a story about that also. Had a married woman going back with me and ended up meeting the girl of my life out there later in October of that same year. And we've been together ever since. But the main thing is I got back out and had several jobs. I worked with Bechtel. We were contracted through Bechtel to work on BART systems, Bay Area Rapid Transit, and I did a lot of work on the electrical and also on the heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems for BART, and mainly in drafting. And it went on for about 6 months. I did that, but I'd also gone to other small jobs. Raytheon, I worked for them in ultrasonics for a short time. Worked with Western Pipe for a short time, doing pipe spooling. So I had a variety of them jobs. I worked for a little architect firm over in Orinda, California, for a short time, and doing heating, ventilation, air conditioning over there. And then as time went on, I went to work with California Canners and Growers as a draftsman. Here, I thought I was going to have a good permanent job. And while working for them, that's where I met Roger Lovelace, the guy with the Fluid Doolittle's group on the raid. He didn't make, but because he was injured before they left. Anyhow, as time went, I finally had a call from one of my engineering companies I worked with that was like a job shop outfit, and they said that there was a place they think I'd fit in, so they sent me over to this little company down on Fairfax off 3rd Street in South City area, around where James Allen and Son was, a meat packing plant was. And I went down there, and his name was LaFille, and the engineer I kind of liked a lot. Old Joe, he told me if I could make it in 30 days or 90 days, he says, yeah, we're going to give you this amount of pay. And it was around 20-something thousand. That was a lot of money in them days. I'm telling you, it was 1970 then. And so I said, yeah, we'll sure give it a try. And apparently I had an innate ability. I didn't know until at this period of time that it was going to show up. But if there was a problem, I had such a mechanical aptitude that I could design any piece of equipment to solve the problems. It may not be the best, but it did the job, and I got rewarded for it, of course, by doing that. But still, didn't know I had it until I got involved with them. And of course, I had 90 days went, and of course they gave me the money, and I was doing quite well with them. And the photo of this happens to be the office at LaField that my chief engineer took, and we were mainly doing overhead systems, track systems and things, but it got involved where later I started developing equipment for the kill floor, and we got involved with some heavy equipment rather than just overhead conveying systems and track switches and things of this nature, and developed a lot of hide pullers and developed the walking beam system, of course, and developed a new switch later on, rail switch they call them. And as time went on, the company got, the two brothers that owned us split up, and one brother's going to take LaField, and the other one had Cincinnati Supply and a big outfit in Omaha. And the guy that was in Cincinnati was a guy that wanted me to be with him, and he made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, so I ended up going out to Omaha, Nebraska, of all places, because the money was good. He was paying me super well for that time and that era, and I was going to run their R&D department. When I got out there, I did develop a couple pieces of equipment for them that paid off real well, and led to me starting my own company in about 8 years. Let's see, no, it wasn't. It was about 5 years. In 1988, 89, I started my own company called Bond Equipment in Logan, Iowa. There, I developed more equipment and got involved with Temple again, Dr. Temple Grandin. Some people may know of her. She made a movie about her. She had autism, and she had an animal training. She trained about the nature of animals and how to handle them, and mainly cattle too, and sheep, and hogs, and things of this nature. So we worked together in developing some equipment which had to do with live animal handling, and that was her main forte. She cared about had the care of the animals as they were being led into the slaughter. So we developed a center track restrainer, and never did patent it because it was developed years ago by a university. Really, the concept was, but not the mechanical. We actually did the mechanical design. Bond Equipment did, with the assistance of Temple and her understanding of the animals and how they're to be conveyed, the least pressure points and less the stress on them. So we developed that, and that became a nice piece of equipment. In fact, when I finally went out of business, it was coming up. We knew we were going to go out of business in 2002 because of the damn thing at the Twin Towers went down, and financial things was getting tight, and we had lost some good contracts. Even though I've been doing mostly some work overseas, I've been working in Venezuela and so in Poland, Czechoslovakia. We've been building equipment around the world, but that was even slowing up a little bit. So I knew that we were going to have to go under, and I started racing cars back in the 90s, and that had taken a toll too, because I'd been in and out of the office, and during race season I was gone most of the time. So, and that wasn't fair to the company. I should have stayed with it more, dedicated more time to it, but I didn't. But I trusted the guys I left in charge. I had a new general manager and a good sales manager and chief engineer that we were paying them quite well, and I trusted them a lot, and they didn't let me down. On some things they did, the management did, but it was my fault. I should have stayed there. So anyhow, I got back in 2002 and had to quit racing, and I had to come back to company permanently because the company was just going to go under, and I was told we were going to have to file bankruptcy, and I said no way. So I found out we were $1.2 million under. We'd already used all our collateral that we had in our funding, so I had to go about trying to pay off the bills. that were coming up. So I worked my butt off trying to sell equipment, sold a good bit. I ended up getting 600,000 paid off out of the $1.2 million we owed. And 2004 in October, a competitor offered to buy me out, an asset buyout, and I took it. Some ways I regret it because the very day they offered me the money, I had a project through Tyson that came through and it would have saved us. But I decided it's time to go. I was 60-something years old, and that was it. So I let it go. And I hated to because I had 60 good employees and good people that stuck with me. A lot of them 18, 20 years had been with me, and it hurt. That aspect of it hurt, but just had to do it. So lost my company and never did go bankrupt. That's one thing I say because my dad, I would hate done that to a company named after my stepfather, which I respect highly now. So that's just a story of my little life in engineering. I stayed 35 years in the meat industry with LaFille, Amico, and then Bond Equipment. You guys take care. If anything else come up, we'll let you know, guys. Take care now.